Hello and welcome back. This is Sean for TightPoker.com, and I'm really excited to bring a video. We're going to be playing extremely small stakes, micro stakes at 2 cent, 5 cent poker, but I'm excited because this is a new user, and his name is Dubaaii, and from what I understand, he's from Poland, and he contacted me on YouTube because he's found the videos there. Would like to let everyone know we're on both PokerTube.com and YouTube.com, as well as you can find some of the latest videos on our home site, TightPoker.com. So it's good to get to know him and go through some hands, and we'll check it out. And so we'll start right here. I accidentally clicked this known showed card, so I actually kind of do know what the villain has at this point. But he limps, and he's a 95-27, and this is why having HUD stats is still important when you're playing these small stakes, because it'll, if anything, train you to get to know how to use a HUD and how to make some reads and see how they hold up over time. So we'll resume things here, and King's on the button with the limper. So I've always advocated 4 times the big blind, so this would be 20 cents plus 1 for every limper, and we've got 2. So we should be seeing 30 cents here. You see 25, which isn't bad, but let's see it a little bit more next time. And we get 2 callers. So that's a really good flop for our kings. And you go ahead and c-bet it very nicely, so good job there. And we get a call. The 6 does coordinate, and the c-bet's fine, but at this point we got to be a little careful. And he calls, and he checks, and so this is where you want to be making a thin value bet. And so you just got to really gauge where this guy is going to be. I mean, did he flop that miracle 8? Did he have the 59 or, weird combinations to make it straight? But chances are, as a 95-27, you are way ahead here. So go ahead, bet for value, figure out what he's willing to call with those random hands. I mean, we know he has 6-2, but you go ahead and shove, which, I don't know, do the hands that you have beat call this? And I don't think so. Except for in this case, of course. So this is a good case. You knew your opponent better than I did, and so you did a great job extracting value. So great job there, and we'll move on to the next hand. But good job recognizing that river value and getting what you wanted to get. All right, Jack 9 suited in the cutoff, and it's only 6-handed, so I'm usually raising this. You do that, you get called. Bunch of callers. Jack 9 suited actually plays pretty well multi-way. Unfortunately, you don't have total position, but you do flop the nuts here, which I guess that's a good thing, right? So you don't want to be slow playing this, though, because of the other draw that's out there with the clubs. So you go ahead and bet it. I don't like the bet size. I saw a great c-bet size on the last hand. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make sure you don't scare out both these guys, but you've got to be able to extract value. And this guy, if he's calling 22, he's going to call 30, 35. So go ahead and make the right raise. And he goes ahead and min-raise you. And at this point, you're trying to get it in. He's check-raised. He's showing strength. This guy's not going anywhere because he's put in enough money to where he's going to see, once you make this raise, he's getting it all in. So you're popping this. The pop's 135. I'd probably take it all the way up to 150. And you put $1. And so get the money in, when you've got the nuts and your opponent's showing that he wants to get the money in too. So surprisingly, he kind of folds, but he just calls. So again, this is a place where you definitely want to be betting more. The board pairs, which is just a terrible thing for a straight. He checks, but you're betting again, and that's a good bet size. And he raises, and another min raise. This is a little unfortunate that you're going to have to get it in here, and you might be behind. You might be drawing dead. So if he has the boat, great, but a lot of times he's going to show up with a 10 here, like ace 10, and you're just way ahead. So you go ahead and get it in. That's fine. He calls and shows quads. So it is unfortunate. He kind of drew out on you. I would have loved to see you get it in on that flop when you were actually ahead and he was willing. So I mean, the point is that he was willing to get it in. I mean, he hit top set, and you need to recognize, like, when someone does something like that, when a normally very passive player check raises that kind of flop, he's going to be getting it in. And since you've got the nuts, you want to get it in too. This is a bit of a cooler, so don't sweat this one too bad. But that's the lesson to be learned with this hand. All right, Queen Jack, late position. You limp. That's bad. Don't do that. I know it's very tempting with a hand like Queen Jack suited to just limp in because you're thinking a lot of hands beat you, but the key really to winning at poker online is that you're going to have to tighten up your game. And what that means, it doesn't mean you necessarily play less hands. It means you're raising instead of calling. Excuse me, which, you know, it's actually more of an aggressive stance rather than playing passive. So with here, the bad part is not raising. It's not Queen Jack suited. It's a terrible hand. It's a pretty good hand, especially in this position in the hijack. So you know, raise it up. Don't be afraid to be the initiator. You don't want to be limp calling, you know, if one of these guys here, you know, makes a raise, because then you're playing an okay hand out of position or multi-way. So what you want to do is be the initiator, show the aggression, and not be limping very often, if at all, pre-flop. And so everyone limps in. You'll see this at 5 no limit. You'll see this at 10 no limit. Players are figuring it out. They don't necessarily know all the nuances of winning aggressive poker online. So this is very standard. You'll see this a lot. So once again, you flop the nuts, which is pretty freaking awesome. So you're betting, and that's a good bet size. And let's see if you get a little bit of interest here. So the 6 is a great card for you because, you know, if they didn't fold to the 9-10 king flop, they're not folding to the 6 turn. So go ahead and bet the 50 cents or whatever it might be. Oh, perfect. Okay, and he doesn't go anywhere, and now it's time to jam. I'm potting this and maybe even over potting to $2 because it looks like a bluff, like you missed your draw. And so the $1.25 is fine. And he goes ahead and raises, and you're just getting it in. And you do. Well played hand. And he shows 2 pair. So he did hit top pair, and fortunately for you, he hit 2 pair, which meant he was willing to get it in on the river. But very well played. And keep that up. Just watch pre-flop. You're going to need to be raising. All right. The most cursed hand of my month so far, Pocket Kings. You make a raise, good size. And we get a 44 calling you, so he's basically calling you. Let's see this range here. I wanted to show what a 40% range is. And so all these cards in purple, that's what a 40% person has. So any ace, any king basically, any suited king, king 7, just a lot of these weird hands like jack 8 off. This guy does not like to fold ever. So keeping that in mind, it's a great flop because, you know, 10-2 wasn't in his range. But you never know. Like, donks show up with the nuts sometimes, and you're just going to have to live with that when it happens. Predictably, he doesn't fold. Guys like this never fold. You go ahead and keep firing, and he min raises you. I think on a board like this, I think I'm just calling behind here, and that's fine. And check calling the river. I like. Unfortunately, he shoves. So with a guy like this, we don't have too many reads. I think he shows up with a pair, and unfortunately, he's going to show up with 2 pair a lot here too. So this is where you're going to need reads. But I'd probably make the call, a crying call. You go ahead, and he's going to show you pocket 10. So just one of those situations where the villain shows up with the nuts. It's unfortunate. I think you had the right idea, and I imagine you had to have been thinking of folding on that river, which I do. But a guy like this, you just kind of have to look up and just wait for the next hand, because he's going to hand you the rest of his chips in later. So don't sweat it. Okay, ace queen, pretty good hand. We get an early raiser, and he's a 36-9. So the read there is that he's not raising too often, and he's raising here in mid position. So, you know, chances are he's got a pretty good hand. You might want to limp behind here. I'm almost never 3-betting unless I know he 3-bets. He folds a lot to 3-bets. There's a case to be made here of actually folding, because you really just don't know where you are. But I don't think I'm ever 3-betting this guy in this situation. And you make the squeeze. I think it's good that you recognize